Welcome. Well, the hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, we got to work on that.
Ooh, all right. What is up, guys? We are here
better.
live. Episode 7, Unscripted Podcast on November 4th, 2020. I got Dylan Munch and Zachary Lowe to my right.
Yes, we're over to the right, yeah.
And then we got our special guest this week, the Craig Smick.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Wow, it's a pleasure to have you here, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How you doing? How you been lately?
I've been good. Yeah, just figuring out what to do, grinding when it comes to baseball, working out every day.
Love to hear it.
And doing school, which sucks, but other than that, everything else is good.
I can attest to that as well, but
yeah,
we're striving here.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Staying away from the COVID.
Thriving, baby.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Miles last night, and I was listening to freaking Odd Future and Frank Ocean, like that song where it's called Oldie, right?
Yeah, Oldie.
Where they all literally have a verse on it. It's like 10 minutes long. And I think we should just start out with the fact that Frank Ocean is literally amazing, and he's like goated. So I want to say that, but like I want to go into what he did on his last album, because it's nothing like we've ever seen someone in the music industry before.
He's straight up finessed, bro.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, break it down. Explain it to me like I'm like 6.
All right, so basically, signs a deal. I don't know what label he signed the deal with. His requirement for the contract was to produce an album. Not produce one, but make an album.
Put out an album.
So he makes one that's just complete dog shit. He doesn't care at all.
It was not dog shit, though. It was good.
It was
just
good.
Not what we were expecting.
Yeah, it wasn't his best,
It was like the movie, right? He just put out a movie or a video
exactly.
on Apple Music.
Yeah, he just put it out and, fulfilled that. And then I think it was either the next day or like 2 days later, he drops the real album under his own name and label, so he makes all the money. And it went like, I don't even know.
Whatever it went.
It went like platinum or double platinum or some shit like that.
He dropped it the next day, because I remember I was waiting for Blonde to drop. And then it was like, come experience the movie. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, oh, no, this is all we're getting? We waited like 5 years for this shit?
And it's a
it's a movie, and it's not even like you can't, like on Apple Music, you can't just play the audio version. You have to play it with the video.
Oh, so
I'm like, yes, he purposely did this. So like, all right, yeah, I'll give you an album, but no one's gonna listen to it.
That's crazy to me. Like, there's no way the loophole is that easy to.
Dude, I don't know. Because I saw a video on TikTok the other day that literally just broke. It was like, people that finesse their label, and it was like Frank Ocean, and then it was like super basic. It was just like what I just told you. It was just like
insane.
He made an album, no one cared about it, and then fucking dropped his real album the next day. It was just like, fuck you, I'm gonna make twice as much money.
I've listened to Blonde probably like 100 times, maybe even more, if you like count it lifetime. In its entirety, I've probably heard all those songs over 100 times each.
Yeah.
And I don't even know the name of the movie album. I don't know what it is. What's the name of it?
I have no idea.
No clue. And are we going to give any effort to it? No. Fuck the label. Fuck the music industry.
I
think
he
label heads.
I think he made like $10 million or something from it too. Like, It was a big number.
He still made. He's going to make royalties off of it anytime somebody clicks on it on Apple Music. But the label was expecting like billions coming from a Frank album. And he's like,
I'm sure.
Take this then.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Like, I don't know what kind of management is in that record. Like, are they like the Jerry Jones of record labels? Like, how do you fuck that up? How do you?
I think it was literally like, okay, we're just gonna sign him one huge contract for one album because he's huge.
Yeah,
we're just gonna make our money off of that. And then he said,
"Well,
fuck you."
Well, his Orange album, I think he was
that
probably,
was off the label. That was off the label.
So it's normally like a 2-album deal, and I think that's why he took his hiatus for so long too. Is he probably saw the Orange album was iconic, and he made so much money off of it, but he probably saw how much more money he could have made off of it had he been more independent or he signed a better deal. And so then he realized, oh, I'm stuck in this shit for another album. So I'm going to go make another iconic album, and they're going to get, what is probably like a like a 65-35 or like a 70-30, like something that's not really fair compared to. I mean, what is the music industry really doing? Once you have the following, there's nothing all they need to do is distribute.
That's it.
Yeah, you shouldn't
That's
be taking any more off the top. I'm just paying you to get my album out and to put me on billboards. But these companies, once they sign that deal, you're screwed.
Yeah. Dude, it's literally like a fucking slave
Yeah.
almost. Like you have to do everything they say, and you don't get a fucking choice. Period.
Yeah, and you might make songs, and they're like, I don't think that one's what
You're
we're
like,
looking
yeah, no,
for.
fuck that. Throw that in the trash. We want a different one.
That's exactly what this is kind of a weird comparison, but like Kesha went through the same thing. Remember how Kesha put out all her shit and she was like hella famous?
Yeah.
And then I was hearing stuff that like she wanted to kind of switch up her style a little bit, and then the record label was basically just like, no, you're putting out the music we want you to put out.
Yeah, like, no, you make pop songs. Keep going.
And she could not break that contract of like the record label. And I don't know. It's crazy to me that they're just so handcuffed by whatever the record label wants. It's good to hear stories about guys who just finesse the record label right back.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. I mean, you think about one thing that comes to mind is like "The Way I Am," the intro by Eminem, where the guy in the background's like, "You're rapping about homosexuals and Vicodin. Like, we can't put this shit on the fucking album."
Yeah,
like,
basically.
And it's true. Like, I mean, Eminem really just said, "Screw it, we're gonna try it." But like any artist has to deal with that, even if they're not doing really risque, edgy music. You have to cater towards what the label's looking for, but you still have to be creative. You can't just be another person that just makes a bland album, or you'll do what the industry wanted you to do, but you didn't get your outreach that you were looking for. So
you got to fit your fan base.
It's so yeah. You really just need to make music for yourself and then see how it works out. That's what Frank did. That's why Frank just said, all right, yeah. I'll make this cool little movie thing. People are dancing around. It's really slow, vibey music, but it's not – there's no – like it's like a continuous song the whole time too.
There's no track. It's not like a track.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
But
it was the finesse of the finesse.
Finesse of the finesse.
There's a great A$AP Rocky interview where he talks about how Frank – because you know how they're all cool. Tyler and all them. There's a great interview. I don't know who he was on with. It was like Funkmaster Flex or someone, and he was just like sitting back. He's like, they were talking about record deals and shit, and he's sitting back. He's like, do you know how much Frank Ocean finessed this fucking label? And then he goes into pretty much what all we just talked about, but it's just funny. Like other artists recognize that too. Like he just straight up took it to him and was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I bet you all the artists in the world were rooting for him too.
Yeah, because that's the big thing now in music is you want to own your masters.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Or try to own your masters.
It's a big thing in sports too.
Yeah.
Subject to the man paying you, and you're just the slave for the next contract, and it's like.
Well, football. Some of these contracts, they feel like
atrocious.
slave contracts.
Yeah, they
feel
do.
It's not right. I mean, how can you get like no guaranteed money in a sport where like your chances of tearing your ACL or anything is just bad? Like Nick Bosa, of all people, I didn't think he was gonna just gone.
Yeah, no,
gone for the season.
Quick. It happens so quick.
At least he's still on his rookie contract, and like he'll still be able to get paid at a later date. But imagine, you're on your last year, and you're about to get paid that next year, and you get hurt that year. Your whole everything is screwed. Your whole future, you're going to be getting told, "Oh, well, you got hurt that one time."
Yeah, injury prone. You immediately get labeled injury prone.
Yeah,
especially if it's a knee or something, because that's a re-injury. Prone part of your body.
And so every single time it's come around to get paid, time to get paid, you're going to get lowballed, and they can always use that as like fire against you. It's not fair. I think football, they should I don't know if they could do something like where they can guarantee these guys more money no matter what, or what they'd have to do, but it just doesn't seem very fair, especially when basketball guys are like bench players are making guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Baseball,
sometimes
bro.
like double the amount of like what a random defensive player would be doing. Even a starting defensive player versus like a bench guy in the NBA, those are probably pretty similar contracts.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was scared for Dak, honestly, because like after that whole injury, I was like, he's not going to get paid.
Yep.
Like, he's not going to get paid. But now watching Dallas and how bad they are, like
it's
how
actually
can you
helping
not,
his
yeah,
dream.
how can you not pay the guy? You know,
Yeah.
like Zeke hasn't rushed over 100 yards since Dak left. Like, how do you not pay the guy?
The stock, oddly enough, his stock is actually just fine.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's crazy. But like when he got injured, I was thinking to myself, I have him on one of my fantasy teams, so that sucks.
Yeah.
But then when he goes down, I'm just thinking, man, this dude's not gonna get paid.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
He deserves money. Like, look what he's doing right now.
And didn't he deny like a pretty big contract?
A huge one.
Yeah, because I remember everyone at work, they were just like, "Oh, Dak ain't getting paid after turning down this fucking huge contract. Fuck that guy."
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, it's like, "Well,
Yeah.
he's still probably gonna get paid."
The thing
Ben
with
DiNucci is not giving us any hope.
Well, that's
No.
what I'm saying. The thing about the Cowboys that was so weird is because Dak went down, and immediately we all thought he's not getting paid because Andy Dalton is going to step in, and their offense is so.
It's gonna be the same, yeah.
I mean, me personally, I was like, oh, Andy Dalton, like Dak was just not a product of his offense, but you got a lot of people on that Cowboys team.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought, Andy Dalton, you're not terrible. You've thrown for a lot of yards in this league before. You've had really good seasons. Like, you can just come in and kind of step in, and Jerry Jones is like, woo, now I don't have to pay Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden now Andy Dalton gets in. Andy Dalton gets in, and he's like 8 of 20 for like 50 yards. And it was just really odd the way it all happened. I did not think Dak was that integral to their success, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, and then like watching Andy Dalton play, and then he gets the concussion, and nobody steps up to get in front of that defensive player.
no one even cared.
And I was just like, what the hell it just happened? And then you watch Ben DiNucci play, and he's terrible. And now they're going with a practice squad quarterback, like looking at starting a practice squad quarterback this week. It's like, what is going on with the Cowboys? Like, America's team is just done for this year.
They're lost.
Like, I don't know what they need to do, because it's not, they don't need a quarterback. They have Dak. Like, you have Dak, so you don't need to tank for Trevor or tank for Justin Fields. It's like, what are we looking for? You have 3 stud receivers. You have an awesome running back. Like, what are you gonna do? And Mike McCarthy's stupid. I would base my whole offense around Zeke right now. Like, feed him, because he's the one that's gonna start everything. And if you get 7 in the box, then you just get to throw the ball to your 3 stud receivers that you have. I just don't understand why Mike McCarthy hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's like they're not running enough. They're not setting the tone with the run. They're not setting up their play action so that you can have those, like when Baker Mayfield does good, it's because they set the run up really well, and then all of a sudden he can roll out and he has all the time in the world, and like that's the type of shit you need to set up for the Cowboys right now. Even for Dak, that's what we need to set up. Yeah. We need to stop like just putting everything. All right, 3rd and long, drop back, 5-step drop up, and hopefully we convert, because we have a bunch of really good receivers, like you said. So let's just piggyback on that. Instead, we should actually set the tone with the run. That's how all these good teams are. That's how Ryan Tannehill is looking good.
Well, that's what
he's looking really good.
Like, I'm a huge Raiders fan, so obviously I'm a homer when it comes to that. But like, Josh Jacobs has totally changed Derek Carr in that way, because it's like, let's rely on Josh Jacobs. He carried the ball 31 times last weekend, and that's how we won. It's just like feed him, and then your play action is so much better. And now you have freaking Hunter Ruggs. Yeah, my bad. Ruggs freaking running deep, and then you got Renfro under the middle, and you got Darren Waller, who's becoming a top 3 tight end in the league right now. So it's just like, it's insane.
Yeah, they looked really good. I didn't think they damn near shut them out.
I know, and that's what surprised me, because their defense is atrocious this year.
Well,
Paul Gunther is terrible.
That weather in Cleveland was not very
40-mile-an-hour winds. I was just like,
how do you play in that?
Dude, like, I was like, how did that even happen? I watched the first field goal.
Oh
my gosh. I was just like, are you kidding me?
I mean, even without Chubb, though, you think 40-mile-an-hour winds, you're at home. You have Kareem Hunt. You have
shoved in his gut 30 times.
You have
like the Raiders did.
You?
Like just all right, Kevin Stefanski. This is your game to win. You should win this. The Raiders are coming to your home, and like they just didn't even show up. Yeah. What a joke!
It was bad.
And the thing with the Raiders is they always build their front offensive line.
Oh yeah, their offensive line.
Even when they were bad, like the year that Carr broke his leg. And everyone was like, "Oh, Cowboys," because they had all their guys. And like, what was that, 2015 or 16?
2016, yeah.
And the Raiders had, I already forget the names, but they gave up the least amount of sacks in the NFL. And it was like, well, why aren't you talking about the fact that the Raiders' offensive line has been good, and they continue to build in the draft?
Right.
Then they draft the UCLA guy.
Yeah, Colton Miller from Roseville.
Colton Miller, yeah.
Yeah.
They love drafting O linemen.
Yeah, and like what sucks about that, like to your point, is our offensive line is good, but we haven't even had our full starting offensive line play together. They've played 3 snaps together this whole season. Wow. Because you have Trent Brown, who's just injured, then COVID, then the IV stuff that happened last week, And then you have Richie Incognito, where he's been gone, and like that dude.
I forgot he's still in the league.
Yeah, dude, and that dude's crazy. I mean, like
psychopath.
Like
who knows what he's doing?
You just need a guy like that on your offensive line. Like,
you really do.
I mean, so it would be really interesting. Raiders being 4-3 in a very favorable part of their schedule right now. They got Chargers, Broncos. Then we got KC, which is going to be tough. But then after that, it's just like you got Jets, Falcons. Like, I mean, it'd be really interesting to see what they could do, especially if their offensive line.
And you guys always play the Chiefs tough. I mean, even though you guys have gotten the bad end of the stick most of the time, you guys always are close.
Yeah, it'll definitely be surprising to see what the Raiders could do.
And like, as much as I think the Chiefs they're easily the favorite out of AFC.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to repeat Super Bowls.
It really is.
Really hard.
It's crazy that's happened because like you see the Patriots, right? And they like, did they ever repeat in that those six?
No,
I don't think we ever.
I didn't
won
think
back
so.
to back.
And it's like, look how good they were for so long.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady, Tom Brady is insane right now. Like the way that he's still playing the way he is just amazing to me.
Yeah, he's 43.
Yeah.
What?
Like how are you 43?
He honestly looks like he could play till he's 45.
He really does. And that's what I was watching him on Monday night, and I was just like, God damn, like he doesn't look any different than how he was 10 years ago. He just throws those little 5-yard ins and does his thing, and then sometimes he'll just let it go.
Yeah.
And then now Gronk's back. Like he's actually back, and it's like, okay, Bucks might have a chance here in the NFC.
Tom Brady's just have that, like, his heart never beats too fast. He is just always so fucking calm.
Yeah.
And it's just like every situation he's in, he's like, shit, I've done this 250 million times.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way he approaches it.
He might
really
be pissed, but like that only hyper focuses him. It doesn't get in his way. It just gets him going a little bit more. Our fucking stream is lagging again. Great.
Oh.
But yeah,
fuck it.
I'm too turned. This one should be about an hour and a half.
But with Tom Brady, the only thing that I saw that was different was when he forgot that it was 4th down.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I was like.
That comes with old age.
Yeah,
Dementia hits.
I was like, huh. All right. Well, maybe he is falling off, and then next 3 games he goes, yeah, I'm Tom Brady. Watch me do this.
Remember who I am?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Quick,
I'm still here.
what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say something about Tom Brady.
Go ahead.
Like, even though he's not throwing darts the way like he did when he was young, he just throws the most like catchable ball. It's always spiral, and it's always, even if it's lobbed in the right place. You know, like,
yeah, he doesn't miss a whole lot.
It's the placement is crazy, and I think that's a big thing. Is even if you throw darts, even if you have that big arm, you can throw it 70 yards. Is the ball catchable? Is it like easy? Is it easy to catch?
Yeah.
Cam.
Because I mean, having soft hands and everything, you got to have soft hands, and these guys have really good, like, football gloves are amazing now. You see these one-handed catches, and you're like, oh, how? But trust me, put on some football gloves.
It's like stick 'em, bro.
You can one-hand catch things if you practice, even just playing catch with your friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but the ball has to be, you have to find that angle where it drops in like cradle, and Tom Brady is a master at that. That's one thing I've always noticed.
What I was just going to say about Monday night, to steer away from Tom Brady, I want to talk about the other quarterback on the field on Monday night. Because me and Miles were sitting here on Monday night watching Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Absolutely, like, oh my goodness.
He's awful.
He had that. Stop.
No,
let me talk.
bro.
Let me talk, okay?
Let the man speak.
Let me
the man speak.
Let the record show that I will be defending Daniel Jones. So he had that one drive where they were up by like, I think it was like 5, and they could have just kicked a field goal, 3rd down. He's rolling out of the pocket, and instead of throwing it away, he just threw it right to the Tampa Bay guy, and he got an interception. Okay, Danny Dimes, what the fuck are you doing? And then on the game-winning drive, the dude looks like he's done this. Like I just talked about Tom Brady.
Yes.
He looked amazing. He was rolling out of the pocket. He was finding dudes on 4th down over the middle of the field, creating plays with his feet. I'm not even going to go into the touchdown pass right now, but it was like a 3rd down.
Yeah.
So it was 3rd down, and we're like, God, Daniel Jones, like, 3rd down.
2nd down, I think.
Was it 2nd down?
Yeah, I think it was 2nd, because it wasn't
I don't know, but he hikes it, and he gets flushed out of the pocket, and instead of forcing the ball somewhere, he threw it out of bounds. Okay? And I looked at Miles, and I go, dude, I've been watching Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, insert any young quarterback that you guys like, just huck the ball somewhere and hope for the best. But Daniel Jones had the wherewithal to throw it out of bounds and say, fuck it. I'm going to get one more play. And I was like, wow, you know what? That was the first time it clicked with me with Daniel Jones. Like, he gets it. Well, I think it's starting to click for Daniel Jones. He gets it. And then he threw the dime of a touchdown pass. And I will also say the Giants have been playing really, really good lately. I mean, it's hard to take moral victories away from losses.
They should have won the week before.
Should have beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, that was a few weeks ago.
The week before, his tight end dropped the ball.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He dropped the first down that would have clinched the game. He threw Danny Dimes threw a dime right there, and he dropped it.
I don't think the Giants are out of the NFC East. I mean, no team is out of the NFC East, but
nobody's
not at all.
I like Danny Dimes. I do. I do like Danny Dimes, and I like the things he was showing. I like the things he was showing me on that fourth down drive, on that fourth quarter drive.
What's crazy about it, right, is their offense doesn't have the most crucial part of Saquon, right?
Yeah.
And their offense still looks pretty decent for not having Saquon.
They're
right?
still opening
after
up a lot
starting
of pass
those
plays.
first 2 weeks, they didn't score, and now they turn it around. So keep going.
But what's crazy about that is who's their offensive coordinator?
I have no idea.
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, Coach Clapp, baby. Good job, Jason Garrett.
Yeah,
good job.
Jason Garrett is the offensive coordinator of the Giants, right? And now we're starting to think, was it really Jason Garrett? Or what's going on? Because that's what I was thinking watching it, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm like, was it really Jason Garrett's fault with the Cowboys? Like, I don't know if it was. Like, people like to place.
I love that question.
People like to place blame on it, but like, really, is it Jason Garrett's fault? I don't know.
Is that rhetorical? I mean,
no.
I guess,
answer. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I guess my only hypotheses would be okay, just focus on the offense. You don't need to worry about shit. Take your offense in your film room and just run it. But he's doing a great job. I love Joe Judge too.
Yeah,
I love special team guys. Yeah. I love special team guys at head coach like Harbaugh. I forget if it's Jim or John on the Ravens. I always mix them up. But
Jim's Michigan.
Jim's at Michigan.
Gosh, see,
he's about to fucking see it.
But yeah, I love special teams coaches. I love Joe Judge as a hire. There's something attractive about the Giants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, imagine when they get Saquon back. Like, everyone's so quick to turn on quarterbacks. Like you were saying, like Danny Dimes. Like I thought he played a pretty decent game on Monday. Yeah. Like, but everybody's like, oh, we have to do it because the Cardinals did it, right? The Cardinals did it, and so now everybody's like, oh, this quarterback sucks. Like Dwayne Haskins, they're like, he's done. They write him off, right? And that's another guy that I wish the Cowboys would have tried to trade for. Like, you get a guy like Dwayne Haskins, he's better than who you have now.
Yeah.
Or even Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know why the Cowboys didn't waste a pick on
that. It's only going to cost you a 7th rounder.
Exactly. Miami's done with him. They used him for the 6 games, and they said, thank you very much. Tua's ready now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Tua proved, for the most part, he went 4-3. Their defense helped the most. But, I mean,
and it's a win-win for them this year. I mean, Miami, they don't make the playoffs. Tua's progressing. Exactly. They make the playoffs. Oh my God, Tua's amazing. He carried us to the playoffs somehow.
It's the Russell Wilson effect.
So it was a perfect time to get off of Fitzpatrick before he starts carrying you too much.
Right.
And then the only reason you made the playoffs was because of Fitzpatrick. And then you say you lose in the playoffs first round with Tua. It just might look bad because then it's like you held on to him too long. And then you should have just rolled with Fitzpatrick because you never know.
Right.
It's Fitzmagic at that point. So I think it was smart. They should get rid of him. But hopefully, I think he maybe got one more year, one more of these setup
I think
years.
so too. And that's what I'm saying is whoever does get the first pick should really think about signing Fitzpatrick and just saying screw it. Like Trevor, sit under Fitzpatrick for however until it's your bye week, and then it's Trevor Lawrence time. You know,
that's
what
he'll
get
you 3-3. He'll start you the season with 3-3,
exactly.
And then there you go.
He's gonna throw 15 touchdowns and 14 interceptions because that's
Harvard
Fitzmagic, and it's just
that's basically Tua's preseason since there's no preseason this year.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
It was really well done job by Miami. Their organization is run smart. They've just been they couldn't find the guy. They couldn't find the quarterback since Dan Marino, and hopefully Tua for them is that guy.
He will. He's a stud.
And I think the AFC East is still wide open. Like Buffalo's starting to fall off a little bit.
We're gonna get into the AFC East.
Right,
I have a good feeling we are.
Okay.
We are.
Before we segue, I want to shout out. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, Javi1422.
Thank you, Javi.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Javi.
Let's get back into it.
That's just a perfect segue right there. So halfway point of the NFL season, we want to do a little midway point awards here on the Unscripted podcast show. Just do a little. Just who you think, who's the first 8 weeks, just straight the MVP off the top of your head. your coach of the year off the top of your head.
Rookie of the year, right?
I mean, I don't really have any. I mean, Herbert's kind of running away with it in the AFC. And
Okay.
in the NFC, you can
So
say
what
Jefferson or
MVP, coach of the year.
Yeah. And then just your Super Bowl pick, and maybe if you want to give a little dark horse, you can. Something along those lines.
All right. I'll start with MVP.
Dude, go ahead. You can start with whatever you want.
I mean, it's the obvious pick. He's probably going to be picked multiple times between us. But Russell Wilson is just showing that he carries the Seahawks every week, in and out every week. It's probably he's probably due for an MVP.
Yeah.
Last year he could have had it had Lamar not just had ridiculous numbers, and so. I don't see how you really choose anybody else right now through this first 8 weeks. He's the MVP. He's carrying his team. His defense is not the Legion of Boom, and he's still a contender.
No.
He's
Not
still a
even
contender.
close.
And look at that division. Everybody is good. Everybody is good. It's the opposite of any NFC East. It's like, holy shit. I don't know. I mean, we might go 10-6 and still that might not be enough. 10-6 might not be enough to even get in because there's going to be 2 that go from that division.
Have to be.
I mean, possibly.
Could be 3.
Possibly 3.
Yeah, I was
now
gonna
that
say.
playoffs have expanded. And I
forget.
just saw another thing that they said that they might say screw it and add an 8th team for this season.
Oh, my goodness.
Just because they're scared.
Fuck it, add everyone.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because they're scared that the pandemic might shut down the season. And so they're like, you know what? If it shuts it down early, let's add another team. And make it 8 teams for playoffs.
Game.
And that way they do the bubble and all that stuff.
Dude,
and it's just
I actually like that.
At this point, fuck it. NCAA tournament style.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, honestly,
Chiefs, Jets in the first round, 1 versus 16. Fucking.
well, like what you guys
No,
said a
we'd
few
have the
weeks
worst
back
Super
during
Bowl
the
ever.
MLB playoffs, it was so much more interesting
Yes.
watching it
Yes,
like that.
100%.
When there was
Yeah.
4 games a day,
Like
I was just like, dude, this is awesome. Like I'm actually interested in watching playoff
Yeah,
baseball.
yeah.
And so I was like, okay, now like I'm tuned in, and like what you guys said made perfect sense. I was like, wow. That's so true. Like I never really watched playoff baseball until it got to like the championship series and the World Series.
Yes,
But I was like, okay,
100%.
I'm watching the DS. I'm watching the wild card.
Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it's
actually
interesting.
hella
and
interesting.
and
Yeah.
the thing with that is my argument was about baseball is that it's baseball's too slow. Okay, well if there's 4 games going on, someone's got a runner on somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can
Someone's
flip
gotta
between
run
4
around.
different games. You're going to find something interesting.
And the thing is I found the Cincinnati series to be awesome just because it was pitching duels. Me being as a pitcher, I was just like, dude, watching Trevor Bauer just go at it.
I love Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer's my favorite pitcher
Savage.
in the MLB.
He is
that
a
dude
savage.
is insane. But like just watching him and like go about his work, and then you got Max Fried on the other side dealing, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Dawson,
got a
thanks for
little
the follow.
Yeah, thanks for the follow, Dawson.
Appreciate
Got
it.
a little baseball in your MVP pick. I like that.
Yeah, no.
What you got over there for MVP?
That's
Wago?
all right. Yeah. Anybody else got something different?
We'll go a little.
Who's your coach? Did you say a coach?
You want to do one at a time or everyone?
Let's
Just
go
one at a
over
time.
MVP
Let's
right
do a little
now.
one at a time, actually.
Yeah, so my MVP is obviously Russell Wilson, like you said. I mean, watching him do what he does with no defense and really having to like carry his team every week. Like he's only lost 1 game, and realistically, he probably should have won that game.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
Yes.
so it's like he should be undefeated right now, and like just watching him do what he does is just amazing.
He's Mr. Improv.
Yeah,
he
he really
improvises
is.
everything.
Like it's just crazy. He'll get out of the pocket and then find Tyler Lockett 50 yards downfield and just throw an absolute dot to him. I'm
The,
just like,
the play's
Jesus.
never dead with him.
No,
Never.
not at all.
Yeah.
You got
Wilson.
Russell?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Are we wiping the table with Russell
dude,
Wilson?
he's straight
I
up
think so.
like he
I
is
just
the
don't
definition of most valuable player.
Yes.
Like,
gosh,
yes.
there's no
Like,
one.
what's the what's the betting scale? Who's second in line right now?
Like a Patty?
I would assume like
A-Rod?
Patty or Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
Rodgers.
think
gotta
right
be
now
up
they
there.
have Patty at number 2.
Is there any running backs that are even close?
That was what I was gonna say as my little
I think
counter
Derrick
argument.
Henry's like
Is
7.
Derrick Henry, when you're going, I know we never do this in any sports about most valuable. We'll give all our credit to Tannehill, but the fact that what makes that offense go is Derrick Henry. And
Yes.
Yeah.
if what he needed was after that 200-yard game, he needed to follow it up with like a couple 100-yard games to really get to like 8. If he finished with like 1,800 yards and 16 touchdowns, like yes, it's his.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's obviously you
I
got to
just
say
hope
Russell
he gets
Wilson.
a big contract because he's on franchise tag this
He'll
year.
get it. He'll get it. But
I
Derrick,
swear that's one where that actually gets me more mad than Dak not getting paid.
well, running
Derrick
backs.
Henry getting franchise tagged after what he did in the playoffs last year.
But
that is a slap in the face.
But like Zach was about to say, it's just running backs, right? Like
know.
how long are they going to really be in the league for? Look at Le'Veon. Like Le'Veon takes that year off and he's nothing now. And I thought maybe he would be something with the Chiefs, but like I mean he's had better games now with the Chiefs than he ever did with the Jets.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's not what he was when he was with the Steelers.
No.
And so it's just like how do you know Derrick Henry's going to keep that up for a long period of time?
It's so tough.
So instead, they're probably just going to keep his workload light up until playoffs, and then here's it 35 times we have to do
they
it.
have to because
look
what it did. It got him to the AFC Championship last year.
Run it back, baby. Just run it back.
Exactly.
Don't fuck with what works.
Who's your? Let's go over to you, Dill. Your coaching favorites.
Coach of the year. Well, I got the Bucks going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with Mr. Bruce Arians.
Of course you are. He's done a great job.
Yeah.
He did a great
really
job
has.
in Arizona too.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, say what you will, it is he added Tom Brady and Gronk, but it's hard to just throw guys on your team and like throw the offense together. Like most of the time, these things, especially in football, take 2-3 years to really develop. And even like in a Cowboys case, it could be developing good and then it all falls apart. So for him to just say, all right, we got to go all in. We got Tom Brady right now and we got to win now. Because he's going to be 47 if we take 4 years, and he'll be gone. So I just think it's remarkable that they're doing this good, and I think they could be 7-1 or whatever. They're like 5-2 or something.
They lost that fluke game to the Bears.
They
because of
could
the
have
fourth down thing.
What down is it?
Dummy.
And then lost to the Saints first game of the season.
And that's when
like,
Bruce Arians can wipe his hands clean and be like, I don't know, Tom Brady forgot the fucking down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So okay, coach of the year. That's who I got.
I really like. Before we go to Craig, I really just like your point. Like it's really hard taking guys. We see it in basketball all the time, and we always blame the head coach. Is a bunch of guys, like Doc Rivers got blamed for it. A bunch of guys get thrown into a pot, and they're like, "These guys are really good. Figure it the fuck out, or else you're fired." And he's figured it out. He's done a really good job. So you got to give him his credit.
It does help that like I was listening to their last game on Monday night, and they were talking about Mike Evans and all those guys, and like when AB came in. Right? Mm-hmm. They went to Mike Evans. They went to Chris Godwin first. And they're like, hey, what do you feel about this? And they said, is he going to make us better? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yes. And they said, bring him in. We need that. And that's what's helping Bruce Arians even more, I think, is that you have all these guys that are like, you know what? Screw it. Let's win. Yeah. Like, look at him. You got Jason Pierre-Paul. You got all these older guys that are there, Ndamukong Suh, that are there. They're like
you can call it ring chasing, but in football, like you gotta put your life on the line.
Win. And Jason Pierre-Paul is playing amazing on the defensive side. You got 43-year-old Tom Brady on the offensive side. You got LaShawn McCoy. Like, what's going on? Like, they just really want to win, and it's awesome to see. And Bruce Arians is the right guy for the job, I think.
Pierre-Paul and Suh, dogs.
Oh yeah,
they are not gonna. They're down 28-0. They are playing every down like
they're
it's
playing
their
like
life.
it's a 2-point game.
And especially because they've been counted out by a few teams now and labeled as washed up. Ndamukong Suh does not want to be labeled as washed up. This dude is going to go. It's a cool front line they have because it's like almost like a Brady and Gronk mismatch, kind of throw it together on the defensive line, and it's like it's working. And it's cool to watch.
And they got their young guys too that are stepping up, like the rookie cornerback. I can't remember his name right now, but
shout out to that rookie quarterback.
Yeah, he's got 2 picks. But yeah, I mean they're looking good. But my coach of the year, man, I hate to say it because being a Raiders fan, but Mike Tomlin, I think is doing a great job with the Steelers right now.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
I mean, 7-0. Ben Roethlisberger's finally throwing the ball with no pain in his elbow, looking awesome. Chase Claypool. Like, where is that?
Claypool's
like,
nice.
are you kidding me?
To interrupt that real quick, didn't he say he felt elbow pain like the past 8 years or something?
He hasn't played a game in the NFL where he hasn't felt elbow pain.
Yeah.
I remember I heard that. Keep going. That's
insane.
crazy.
And so, I mean, the way that their offense is looking and their defense is the number 1 defense in the league right now. They're just insane. Like, that Minka Fitzpatrick trade was the best thing that they could have done for the organization.
And he went off for him last year when they didn't even have Big Ben.
Yeah, and they almost made the playoffs last year. Yes. And that's what shows you, like, Mike Tomlin is a really good coach. They had freaking Duck Hodges as their quarterback for a little bit.
And they were doing
good. They were doing good. They could buy a game, you know, like were they 500? They were right around there.
9-7 or 8-8, 9-7 or 8-8.
And I think adding Chase Claypool helps their offense a lot just because Juju wasn't the same guy as he was that first year when he had AB, right? Yeah. And so he had that struggle, he had that downfall, and now they have Chase Claypool and James Conner stepping up, and like I don't know, that team, man, it scares me.
Cool.
It scares me because they're 7-0, Like,
Yeah.
they have a chance with that defense to really make a run at the Super Bowl this year.
100%.
Juju to me has always been like the perfect Anquan Bolden. Like he's the perfect number 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
100%.
He's a really good number 2.
He's not your superstar.
You could put him out wide.
Yeah.
You could slot him. You can put him in. You can do a lot of things with Juju, but I don't think he's 14 targets a game.
No, not at all.
But he's a big play guy. Like you said, Claypool. That's a 6'4" target. That's a red zone guy.
Yeah, and he can do everything. I mean, they try to get him the ball any way they can. They'll use him. They'll use him in misdirection plays, like all this stuff, and it's just like crazy to see. And it's like, all right, Mike Tomlin definitely has it figured out. Like I never even really looked at him as as that until this season, and I'm starting to watch him, and I'm starting to watch everything. I'm like, okay, these guys can ball, and Mike Tomlin's the right man at the job.
That's what I really like to see, though, is like when you're actually running interesting plays to keep everybody off balance. I think that's why, like, the Saints, I mean, even though they have Drew Brees, they're like, oh, we got this Taysom Hill guy. Let's get every yard we can out of this guy. And it works. And it takes the ease off of your star. Like, you need that. Big Ben needs that. Even, I mean, the Patriots with Brady all these years, they would always, every single game, they had one weird trick play that they ran. Every Patriots game I watched, they would run like a double reverse.
Yeah, the flea flicker was the fucking play
or
back
a
in the
flea
day,
flicker.
bro.
Yeah, it was always something that just gave your team juice, and it was like, oh, that was kind of like a freebie. Like, we really tricked them there. Well, and here's 20 yards. Let's go. Let's get this drive.
Well, that's why it's like hard to not pick Andy Reid, right? For that reason there. Like, you watch
Andy Reid's a fucking genius, bro.
You watch their offense, their speed is absolutely ridiculous, and he utilizes it every single play.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just insane to watch them do it. I'm just watching them. I'm just like, how does he think of these plays? And you just have Mahomes who can just do damn near everything on the football field.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what is going on?
And bad coaches would just say, hey, Patty Mahomes, 5-step drop.
Roll out. And
just
like,
they would just lean on him every play. And I hate when they do that. Like, Packers do that. They don't do anything interesting. They just say, Aaron Rodgers, carry us to this win.
Yep.
And it doesn't work. It does not work.
The Andy Reid thing that gets me is his goal line offense.
Yes.
The softball throw, the softball little shovel that Mahomes threw to Kelsey last week, and in the Super Bowl they ran like a 1920s Notre Dame wishbone style run play. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like with like 8 people on the line and like 3 running backs.
Yeah.
That was just like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. His bag is deep per se. Like, he reaches deep in his bag and pulls out plays that no one has used for 100 years.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you guys off, and this is kind of random out of the thing, but sorry to our viewers for the fucking lag that we're going through, because I know it
every week.
I know it fucked up a little bit there for a sec. If we do lose connection completely and it kicks us off live, we're gonna ixnay Facebook and we'll be live on Twitch, because I think we might be having problems with Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Anyways,
we'll switch over to Twitch.
If we end up going offline for a little bit and you're on Facebook, switch over to Twitch. If you're on Twitch, give us like 5 minutes and we'll get it back going. But let's get back into it.
We got a comment here. Matt Nagy does it every week.
Yeah.
Do you mean that he relies on his quarterback every week, or that he actually tries plays?
Or that he just sucks?
I think he just – I don't know what his play calling is.
There's no way that he's saying relies on his quarterback every week. Nick Foles is terrible. Like, I thought he was going to be something.
I thought he was going to be the truth this year.
I was like, oh, sweet. Nick Foles is finally in. They finally got rid of Mitch. Thank God. Nope. He is just as bad.
And Mitch at least could run.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He had that little bit of improv. Like, Nick, if you don't call the right play for him, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia did a great job with that when he made the Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
They're like, Nick can do this. Yeah. Let's let Nick do this.
Yeah, let's keep him in his strengths and not ask him to do anything else.
The Alex Smith.
He threw for like, what? In that Super Bowl, he threw
like
for
300
something.
Oh, yeah.
yards.
Yeah, he had a great
2
game.
touchdowns and a touchdown catch.
And Tom Brady threw for 500 yards, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's how you know you did something right on the
exactly.
offensive end.
But I think Miles for Coach of the Year.
Oh, I was going to agree with you with Tomlin. Yeah.
Dude,
the Steelers have just – they're like – don't want to say they're not talked about, but they're fucking not as talked about as anybody else.
Right,
and it's just the quietest 7-0 you've ever fucking
100%.
seen.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, yeah, they're good, whatever.
When the Titans were 5-0, people
exactly.
were like, oh, the Titans are looking good. But the Steelers were 5-0 too, and no one
said shit.
Yeah.
And now they're the only undefeated team, right?
Yeah, it's kind of just granted that they're going to be competitive every year.
Yeah, they're good every year as long as they got Big Ben.
Yeah, and even when they don't, like they're still always
knocking
in the
on
running.
the door.
That really is a tribute to Mike Tomlin. Yeah, that's probably a better pick because man, he's just always got his family in order, even through the Le'Veon Bell and the Big Ben is having issues with the locker room and all that.
Yeah.
Look at him now. Like it's like all those issues just disappeared, and everybody's in line. Everybody's loving Big Ben.
You know what that happened that I think really helped that?
Huh?
See ya, AB.
Yeah. I
think AB leaving was a big help to that locker room.
He was probably getting people like to be on his side, and it's like
he was dividing the team when it didn't really need to be divided. And like when he went off on his whole thing about Juju and whatnot, like he tweeted at Juju or something after he left and was like, "Oh, I didn't need you" or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck he said. Like he went on his whole thing.
Juju's like the nicest guy.
Yeah, right. Like he doesn't care. He just like streams Fortnite and is nice to everybody. Does a bunch of shit for kids.
He was riding a bike his rookie year to practice games.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Dude,
my favorite thing about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers is that it's a football team that plays like their coach. Like you could see his personality. He could see his personality coming through on that defense on the field. Like I don't know. I just whenever I see Mike Tomlin in the press conferences and like his attitude towards football, and then that defense plays, it's like, oh, this is mere images of each other.
Yeah.
Defensive coaches, man. Like your thing about special teams coaches, I am just like, if I'm gonna hire a coach, I'm gonna try a defensive coach over an offensive.
I think you should.
Bill Belichick, defensive coach.
I love these Cliff Kingsburys and all these college guys. You know, that's cool. Let's introduce more college offense into the NFL. I think it's good for the game. But honestly, as much as the Cardinals, they're doing well this year. So no discredit to them. But I still would go with a defensive-minded coach. Out of college, young or old or whatever. That is my idea of how you are. If you're actually trying to win and you're trying to like start a super team, like a legacy team, it's always defensive coaches in my mind.
Mm-hmm. My coach of the year, I'm not agreeing with any of you guys.
All right, let's hear it then.
Let's hear it.
I'm going down to South Beach. Brian Flores, Miami Dolphins head coach. Okay, I'm not agreeing. I totally agree.
So
with,
where do you see them
ending
up?
I see the Dolphins winning the AFC East.
Okay,
at 10-6, 9-7. Here's why. Okay, that team last year was like, what were they? 0-9. Just traded Minka. 0-8, 0-9. Flores comes in, takes over, and all of a sudden they're freaking competing every week. And there's something different with the team. Like, oh, what is going on with this Dolphins team? They were just getting blown out 55-6 by the Ravens, and now they're actually competing with the Pats, and they're winning games. And I think they finished 3-13.
They
or 4-12.
screwed the Pats last year. They won on the last week and took away their home field, or not their home field, but their bye. They would have had a first round bye.
Yeah.
So, and this year, you can see that this Dolphins team is tough. Like I'm talking about Tomlin. The Fins know their identity. They know they don't have the star power or this and that. But they win games, and like the defense and special teams last week is what did it. And then don't even get me started about Tua. Tua is, I think, the best rookie quarterback out of Herbert and Burrow, and I think he's one of the best quarterbacks to build your franchise around in the last few years because to me, he's a lefty Russell Wilson, which is all what everyone in Alabama has been saying and all the Tua lovers have been saying. But I believe it. He's the most accurate. Tackled. He's the most accurate passer in NCAA history. When he was there, he knows where to put the ball. He's not going to turn it over, and he's going to game manage for the first part of his career, and he's going to learn the ropes that way. And I just love the way Brian Flores has turned this team into we're tanking last year, into we can play, and then now it's like, holy shit, we're 4-3. We beat the Niners. We thrashed the Niners. We won last week against the Rams, two teams looking into the season to be in the playoffs. I like Brian Flores. I really like Brian Flores.
Now, kind of just to go off of that, you know, last year it was all just tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. That's all we heard from the Dolphins. And then and then they started, once they realized, all right, we'll probably have Tua, let's be competitive, and it really worked. Do you think that's bad for the league? If you see, because like the Patriots probably going to do it. it looks like the Cowboys might even think about doing it because I mean, why don't they pick up like Alex Smith or just anybody, anybody like you said, Fitzpatrick? Why not just try to win your division?
Because you definitely can. It's the NFC
You
East.
definitely can if you just get somebody competent. So do you think that's bad for the league, or do you think a tanking's fine? And I mean, it's all fair game, right?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I think it's just inherently going to be in the game no matter what. So there's not whether
you
it's
can't
good or
really
bad,
stop
you're
it.
not going to stop it. There's
True.
dudes.
Yeah, there's no way of really stopping the tanking, which kind of sucks in a way. But then again, not really, because it's like, I want to see Trevor Lawrence go to a team and really turn him around.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I really don't want to see him go to the Jets. So what would be interesting is if the Jets do get that first pick and he says, I'm good. I'll stay at Clemson for my senior year. That would be really interesting to see from him.
Oh, the Tank Fest next year would be even worse.
He could just say, screw college football. I'm just going to sit around all year, and we would still be number one.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't do that, but yeah.
Yeah. But it kind of like a Nick Bosa type thing, right? Nick Bosa gets injured. He said, I'm out. I'm just going to get ready for the draft.
He was at Ohio State, right?
Yes, and he just sat out.
Oh, my God.
Because he was like,
they should have won the national championship, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they had their full team, they would have won.
Yeah.
My thing for the whole tanking scenario is tank all you want. Is one player really going to turn around that number one pick or whatever you're looking for in your tank? Is that one player going to turn your entire team around? Like, is Trevor Lawrence going to make the Jets an over 500 team next year?
Not the Jets. I would guarantee you
Like
the other 31 teams, yeah. They would make him be like, I don't know.
Just about anybody.
He's legit.
No, I know he's legit. I'm just saying.
So I would
That's
say
a good point.
To your point,
Like,
I would say,
are you in the playoffs if you sign him? If you're Jacksonville,
I don't
in the
think
next
so.
3 years, yes.
But
I think
the thing
even
is-
the Jets.
no, yeah,
would.
obviously long term.
Like
You're
Mark
not thinking
Sanchez,
next year, but
Mark Sanchez was one game away from a Super Bowl.
Well, that was a different Jets team.
Yeah,
with
and,
an amazing defense.
Well, yeah, but still.
Look at who's coaching the Jets, though. Do you really want Trevor Lawrence going to Adam Gase? Like, I
Yeah.
hope that the Jets' whole thing is, man, every single player hates playing for Adam Gase, so let's keep him. Hope that they just say screw it themselves, want to lose all these games, and then right after the season's over, see ya, Adam.
and then bring in someone that's
Hire
gonna change
Dabo
them up.
and draft Trevor.
I see.
Dude, that would be crazy.
When at the beginning of the season, I was seeing stuff like that Jacksonville's like, you know what, screw it, we're gonna tank for Trevor, and then we're gonna get Dabo Sweeney to be our head coach. Like, that would be insane.
That'd be wild.
How does Dabo Sweeney leave Clemson?
How
do you leave that job?
I don't
can't.
think he's a
can't.
New York guy.
Dude, how much does he
doesn't
make a
feel
year
like it
at
to me.
Clemson?
He makes more than I think. Like, I don't know if it's more than every single NFL coach or like more than everyone, but like two.
I want to say he makes like $20 million or
Dude,
something
No,
like that.
I think it's like 15 and 15.
I would stay
or-
in college
'cause
football if I was him because he can outduel
It's like
Nick
him and,
Saban.
I was gonna say it's
for
like him and Saban.
quite a few
that are-
years.
And he's winning his conference every year.
Yeah.
That's
He's
another
gonna-
check that he's getting.
He's getting the statue in front of Clemson. He's
Oh,
getting the
100%.
field named after him, the Dabo Field.
Yeah.
Like, everything is going to be Dabo Sweeney if he just stays at Clemson.
But the college coach
They
that
might tear it down
the
too.
college coach I would love to see in the NFL is Lincoln Riley for the Dallas Cowboys. That's
I
what
would love
I
that.
That's what I would
hate
love
that.
to see.
Even
I
though he's
hate
offensive
that.
You hate
coach, I
that?
love it.
Why?
That would be like the Cowboys just grabbing at more butterflies. This might work. This might
Better
work.
than Mike.
I
God,
Yeah, I
I
don't
hated
like
it.
Mike there.
Mike
at all.
McCarthy is just saying, "What, Daddy Jones? What, Daddy Jerry?" That's all he's doing.
But that I feel like anybody, the whole time that Jerry Jones is there, is going to be what, Dad?
I know,
Oh,
but
I'll
if
do
you
what I
bring
want.
in a young guy who's like, "Look, I got my whole like," he's just Lincoln Riley would be, all right, whatever, the business and the numbers and all that. Go ahead, but I'm controlling this freaking offense.
Yeah,
I'm
this
making
team's
the
gonna be
plays.
ran how
I'm
I
getting
want.
the players I want. I'm running it how. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Because Mike McCarthy, it doesn't even feel any different than Jason Garrett. It
doesn't
really
at all.
doesn't.
It's
At
just like-
all.
It's like fall behind, let Dak throw 50 times. And now
Yeah.
it's just like, now they don't have Dak, so it's like fall behind, lose by 40.
Stay behind.
So it's like really what's the point, you know? And that's why I always think Lincoln Riley would be awesome. You put Lincoln Riley back with CeeDee Lamb, who he's already coached. You got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Zeke. Like, you got.
And he's already in that area. He's already Oklahoma. He could transfer to Dallas. He still feels like he's still known in that area.
Right.
Everybody who's like Oklahoma fans are all Dallas Cowboys
Oh, for
fans.
sure, because it's like a 3-hour drive.
So
Yeah.
he would be beloved I think that would be a great spot. That's the only reason why I can't imagine Dabo Swinney going from down south. He's a very southern person. I just can't see him going up to New York. Just
No,
that would be wild.
I think Dabo is loving Clemson. I mean, he we were talking about before the show even started. You have DJ, however the hell you pronounce his last name,
who knows,
for Clemson.
Backup quarterback,
freshman, stud, who I think that Dabo's like, you know what? I got this guy for 2 more years after Trevor leaves.
Yeah.
Why would you?
We're going to keep winning ships.
kinda
Why the fuck would I leave?
We're winning the ACC every year.
Yeah.
That's just going to happen. Clemson's going to win it every year because Dabo's one of the best coaches in college football, if not the best.
the best
right?
recruiter too. Yeah.
Yes, the best recruiter. He gets everybody. So it's just, I mean, how do you leave that job if you're saying he makes $15 million a year?
Yeah,
how do you
it's
leave
hard
that?
to leave when you're winning anywhere, no matter how much
Yeah.
money you're getting paid. If you're winning ships or you're getting close to championships and you can keep the core of your team,
Yeah.
you're stupid to leave.
And it's like how
Unless
much
they're
better,
like, we're going to pay you $50 fucking million a year to be the
Then-
head coach of the Jets, then
yeah.
you're like, all right, where am I moving in the Hamptons?
Yeah.
But
like,
how much better can it really get? Like, yeah, I mean, he's
yeah, and he's a king at Clemson, bro.
Oh,
like,
the king.
and
Statues.
what fucking state is Clemson in? Georgia?
North Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South
For
Carolina.
really?
Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
South
way off.
Carolina.
But dude, think about
Huh.
it. You're like, and in the South, college football is bigger than NFL football. Like, you are a fucking king. Why would you leave that to go try and rebuild a new legacy at the next level? I mean, a lot of guys want to do that, obviously, but
I could see why you're doing that if like you're that Baylor guy, the one that
Matt Rule?
Yeah, he's at Carolina now.
Yeah.
Like he had one really good season. He turned Baylor around, but he knows Baylor's never gonna make the college football playoff. So why not go to the NFL?
The thing
Right.
with the college coaches, the blue chip college coaches like the Harbaughs and the Day, is that the guy at Ohio State
Ryan
now?
Day.
Oh,
yeah.
Who
And Nick Saban and Dabo. The thing about them is they don't. When you go to the NFL, you have to deal with GMs, you have to deal with
Yeah.
owners, you have to deal with all this. When
You're the top dog.
When you run a college, when you're a head coach in college, you are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. You are everything. So most guys don't like to give away those blue chip jobs because it's like, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, it's like, well, I literally control everything that's going on, and I control every aspect of how it goes on. So most of those guys just don't want to get away from a job where they don't have control of everything. And in the NFL, you can't have control of everything unless you want to be Bill O'Brien and just suck. But
Yeah, and you're gonna get way more scrutinized when you fail in the NFL.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Like you could
100%.
have one bad year for college football, right? And then just be like, okay, like they just didn't
Recruitment
the
class wasn't good.
They didn't get the recruits that they wanted, right?
Yeah.
But you screw up one time as an NFL coach, and they're just like, you suck. And that's another thing that I was talking about, like how coaches are so quick to turn on quarterbacks. GMs are so quick to turn on coaches.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
went
100%. You
went
don't
four-
produce,
you
you're
went 4
out.
and 12. All right, see ya. It's like, dude, it was my first year coaching. Yeah, I don't care.
Yep. No.
Like, you didn't produce.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
exactly.
On
to the
We'll go get another guy.
Those wins and losses pile up in NFL. Like college football, half your season is freebies. Half your season is Ball State or like whoever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's really hard to get that scrutiny when like, oh, I only lost 2 games. Yeah, we were projected to go undefeated, but we were projected to go freaking undefeated. Like it just doesn't happen
Right.
every
Yeah.
year.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of one of those toss-ups. Ryan Day, though, I love Ryan Day. I think he definitely will be an NFL coach in the near future.
I think so too.
He's like, it's really hard to just pick up from Urban Meyer and just be like, yeah, we're just gonna keep getting the same recruits. We're gonna just, I mean, it's Ohio State, so it's not like you have to do a whole lot to convince people that it's a good football school. But
Right.
I mean, he just picked up right where he left off, and they look really good, and they just look coached well every week. I think the Ohio State, if they lose, it's because Justin Fields just barely missed that one throw, but it wasn't the play call, it wasn't the defense, it was just a
like
tough fought game.
Clemson in the semifinals, right? He throws that pick at the end of the game, but they were in that game, and I thought for sure they were winning.
I thought they were winning.
I thought they were winning that game. I was like, oh crap, they're taking down Clemson.
Yeah,
And then
they looked like the better team.
they
Honestly,
They did look like the better team that day. And then he throws that one pick, and like that's exactly what you're saying, right? Justin Fields makes one bad throw, and that could
You can
really
live with
cost
that.
it. Yeah.
the thing about Day too is they say he has NFL coaches and him talk regularly. Like, he has the ear of a lot. Like, he has the trust of a lot of big-time NFL coaches, too.
That's
like,
huge.
he's a well-respected person in the football world. So, I mean, he could go pro. He seems like one of those guys where it's like, Ohio State, okay, that's not yours.
Like a stepping stone.
No,
Like,
yeah,
that's
it
Urban
doesn't
Meyer. It's
feel like
not-
he owns it either.
Yeah, and Nick Saban, Alabama's yours. Dabo, Clemson's yours. You don't really want to. But, Ohio State's not his.
Yeah.
So, he could be
But
one
that's
who makes
hard to
a move.
walk away from it if they
Really hard.
continue to like him, because it's kind of like you're literally a blue chip. You could once you walk away from Ohio State too. Like if you're like Jimbo Fisher, like now he's at Texas A&M. He probably should have stayed at where was he before?
Florida State?
Yeah,
It was Florida State.
Florida State. But he tried. I think didn't he go to the NFL and then he came back?
I honestly don't know what Jimbo
I forget
did.
what he did, but I from what I recall, I thought he went to the NFL, didn't work out, came right back to college, and now he's Texas A&M, which is still really good, but still, like,
You're not.
you could go to NFL, doesn't work out, and then no one even trusts you back in college anymore. It's really hard to walk away when things are going well.
Yeah.
Facts.
Where were we? Was that Coach
I
of the
don't
Year,
know.
or was
Yeah,
that?
I
that was
was
Coach
gonna
of
say
the
a
Year.
lot.
Was that
Yeah.
a lot of? Was that a long Brian Flores Coach of the Year argument?
It
Yeah,
really
that
became
was.
into one, yeah.
We got a question. What about Buffalo?
I think-
Buffalo's coached really well. I like
I
Buffalo a
think he was
lot.
talking
John
more about
McDermott.
along the lines of
the AFC East. AFC
Yeah.
East. What about Buffalo? Josh Allen's decision making probably makes their offensive coordinator lie awake at night staring at walls. He's so talented. He has the body to be a quarterback. He looks like a quarterback. God, he just
Great in bad weather.
sometimes he just does shit where it's like, bro, are you even here right now? Like, are you in this?
Y'all remember
Stream
the
it.
playoffs last year when he fumbled it out of bounds and I thought he was gonna fumble the whole game away.
Yes.
He got-
yes, yes,
He
yes,
was
yes,
so lucky. He fumbled and it just rolls out of bounds. I was like, oh my gosh, you just gave the game away and you got lucky. You took a bounce and out.
And didn't they blow like a 17-point lead against
Yeah.
Deshaun?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have won the game.
They got a lot of proof. They got a lot to prove. I mean, if they could get to 10-6 and easily win the division, that's the thing with the AFC East is 9 or 10 wins you. It wins your division. So
It's not a good division this year.
No, not at all. With the Patriots falling off the way they did.
Yeah. I'm hoping they tank for fucking Trevor, bro.
I think they are. Well, Bill.
Dude, that's why I was rooting for
he's
the fucking
trading
Giants.
everyone
Or
away.
was
He's
it the
Giants?
cutting
It was the
everybody.
Giants.
He's trading and cutting everybody. Like there was hella guys that opted out before
And-
the season even started.
Yeah.
Bill, you know what Bill said? This whole COVID thing, just take a break.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah.
We're not going to be
Stephon
good.
Yeah, they're-
Gilmore's hurt.
Yeah, and they're trying to trade
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
And-
just seems like it.
And for the first
Rebuild,
time in
baby.
forever, you're seeing Bill Belichick make excuses.
I know. And
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like he's straight up making excuses in almost every press conference, and like he's not even really making excuses. He's just saying, "Yeah, we fucking suck. Like,
Yeah, like we're not
good this year." And we and me as a Patriots fan, like everyone, I wear a Patriots mask at fucking work, and everyone gives me shit. But it's like, okay, every time anyone's like, "Oh, Patriots, you got some shit on your mask," I'm like, okay, we were good for the last 20 fucking years. I'll take however many years that we're gonna be bad. I'm good with what I got. Like we're cutting our losses this year. Whatever happens. But if there's any salty Patriots fan out there, I want you to shut the fuck up because we've been very fortunate for the last fucking 20 years.
Yeah, you
pretty
really
much.
can't be mad.
Like we can't be mad at one bad fucking season.
It's the thing.
and it is a time for a setup for a rebuild.
yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly.
It's the same thing with the Red Sox too. If you're gonna be bad, do it in a COVID year.
Yes,
Do it in
be
a COVID
bad.
year.
Yeah,
So
Well,
it's smart. War